Liquid Moly has been #1 in Germany for the past 10 years in motor oils and additives. We're super excited to bring the marine range now in North America. All that experience in the performance and the racing industry translated into the marine world couldn't be a better combination. Are you scared of using your warranty? Well, you shouldn't. Liquid Moly Marine product has all the approvals from the National Marine Manufacturers Association, FCW, TCW3, and also API specs. Please refer to your owner's manual for right viscosity. Use the best to maintain your passion. Liquid Moly has been #1 in Germany.
I just thought it was...
We are on the intranet.
Huh?
The internet.
Oh,
We're on the
right.
internet.
Wait, we're on the World Wide Web?
The web.
Whoa.
Here we go.
Whoa.
We are live. Watercraft Network in the house. Coming
Watercraft
back
Network
from the race
Wednesday.
weekend.
Hey, by the way, Ryan says the reason you're behind the camera like that is because you got food scraps in your beard.
That's okay. I'm saving them for later.
Watercraft Network Wednesday. Welcome back. Original Bad Boys of PWC podcast.
Haters of the beard community.
I'm still tired.
Hey, you had a long drive.
16-hour drive on the way home sucked.
Long drive. Jody all the way down to Racine, Wisconsin. Attended the Pro Watercross National Tour, Liquid Moly Pro Watercross National Tour, presented by HydroTurf. Great outing down there. Looked like some good racing down there.
Oh,
yeah, it was interesting. It was frustrating. It was fun. But
Well,
there was the one thing about this that I haven't seen at any of the other ones.
Yep.
Was the amount of spectators that just showed up. I mean, it was just people were everywhere, and Saturday was okay as far as spectator wise.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucked because there was more races on Saturday.
Right.
But Sunday was like the place was flooded. But there was people coming up, asking questions and what's this all about, and did the boys race with the girls, and why is that, and what is this, and how fast do they go?
In all fairness, it is Wisconsin, and I think they're still trying to figure out the Rubik's Cube there.
Maybe. Maybe.
Michael Jackson Thriller is still #1 in Wisconsin.
I don't know. I see more manufacturing in that town.
Yeah, I'm just joking.
Anywhere.
I'm just.
I've never been there.
Look, a little geographical joke.
It was crazy. I'm looking around, and it's literally manufacturing everywhere.
There's plenty of shit somebody could talk about in New York.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, please.
From
All
the
they have to
top
do is talk
to the
about our taxes, and we got no argument. We might as well just, go home. I mean, literally.
We are.
But no. Racing was a good time.
As always, the Liquid Moly Pro Watercross National Tour, just the pinnacle of personal watercraft racing, and, just really setting the bar high. Next, I think it's end of next month, Lake Charles, Louisiana. Lake Charles, Louisiana, the Nationals, the actual national championships for a legitimate tour, not like, these other ones where you just show up and, hey,
it's a national tour.
I win a national because nobody runs tech and I just showed up. But anyway, Pro Watercross, the actual national tour nationals are next month in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Double points, too.
Yeah,
so
double
it's
points
all
round.
on the line next.
I mean, some fast boats. We shared a video of Texas Nationals were this past weekend. Jules Hopkins down there on that Commander. Same boat that won the overall in GP Ski in Hartwell, Georgia. Yeah, I mean, if you watch that video we put up, that boat is just hauling the mail. Those Commander boats are so impressive. I mean, to get an onboard view of a Commander, it's just it's really, really impressive. And I don't know if you guys saw it, that Glenn Jung's Carbon HX that we shared on the Watercraft Network page. Boy, I can't wait to see that thing in Naples. Holy Moses. Did you see that bottom deck's Carbon? Whew. That thing has got to, boy, if you let that thing eat, you better know what you're doing.
We'll see how that goes, because I know this past weekend between Sammy Niemi and Dustin Farthing.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Well,
that was a battle.
Those kids are fast.
It was a battle.
That was
I watched them
insane.
live.
I mean, it was 1-2 through 2 motos, and it was all on the line on Moto 3, and they were flying. I mean, they were both on a mission,
Yeah, those kids are just
especially Farthing. Farthing was just like, I'm not being beat.
really, really impressive. You know, just such, top shelf equipment and great riding tutelage from the lineage within their family of personal watercraft
Well,
racers.
you can always tell who spends the most time on a boat,
Oh,
and them two ride.
Oh yeah, yeah.
well, Devin did this move. I think it was in stock. As him and Sammy were like side by side, and they're coming into this one left-hand turn, and he just ass kicks the boat right in front of Sammy, and he's still going. It doesn't eject him. It doesn't do anything, but he purposely ass checked that boat and kept right on going just to try to throw
That's
Sammy
control.
off.
That's control.
It was
Yeah.
crazy.
Awesome.
just like you said, Mel. Great rider control of those boats and super super high race IQ. I mean, that's why
And
you're-
they're 16.
yeah, you're
16
talking the
and
best.
17, right?
Some,
16 and
I
17.
think Sammy Nemi's even younger. I think Sammy's 15. I think
no, he just turned
No,
16
16.
because he
right, so
raced
he's 16. That's
Pro
right.
1
He's
or
16.
P1.
Yeah, and Devin is 17 or
17.
18. They're both
Because I heard those guys announcing, saying they were in the same race but racing for different spots. So even though they were 1 and 2, they were racing separate.
right. I think
Yes.
yeah, because I think you're right. I think Farthing was in Sport GP and Nemi was in Blaster GP.
One of 'em
something
like
that. There's two different classes that they combine, and they're looking at restructuring that next year. And it has a lot to do with aftermarket hull versus
Right.
a whole host of
Between
things.
the two of them, it didn't matter. It was them on the race course.
Yeah,
and that
those
was
kids
it.
don't care. It doesn't matter if you're in the same class; they're still battling for position. So,
I mean, Dearman had probably half the race. He was up front, and then once those two just kind of decided they were going to check out, it was
gone.
goodbye.
And the great thing is, you'll be able to see this battle that we're talking about on CBS Sports. Pro Watercross broadcast almost 500 million households worldwide through CBS Sports, and that round will be coming up in prime time. Not sure the exact date, but when we know, we'll share it with you.
You know what I'm hoping for? Honestly, I mean, it's great. CBS Sports, the whole fame game. My thing is more intriguing to have a better live view for me. Like I was just talking to you guys off there.
Yeah,
I want to see it that produced that way. You know what I'm saying?
I
don't know.
agree.
To me, it's more exciting.
I agree. I think Mav.
I mean, Mav does a great job,
Yeah.
especially with some of the shitty locations to
yeah,
bring in
that, and he's a
Wi-Fi.
one-man.
As far as Wi-Fi and that, yeah.
You know, in that connectivity.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I know there's a whole process, but I'm just saying, like, I think that's more for sponsorship, like to be able to show all the races. Like I think you've talked about before, or one of you.
Yeah.
There's only certain things,
Certain
CBS
classes
Sports,
that they're
going to run, which is fine. I'm just saying, I'd really like to see more of that.
Yeah, and I think you're right. Maverick, who handles all of the live streaming, is a one-man band. He's doing it all by himself, literally from camera work to making sure that all of the technical, equations are all linked up. So
I know. I've seen that dude sweating.
he's unbelievable. He does a great job. But you're right. I think that's the progression that comes next, is really taking that live broadcast to the next level, and I think we'll see that with Pro Watercross. So
I mean, usually in the beginning of the day when they start the racing, they're up to 50 to 100 people watching.
yeah.
Facebook
Mm-hmm.
or YouTube.
Or YouTube, yeah.
That's a
yeah,
big
there's
deal.
a lot of people that were watching it this past weekend.
That's right.
A lot of people. I was watching, obviously, Jody's daughter Shelby and Reese and Art the intern and Troy, a friend of ours from Connecticut, were all racing this weekend. They all did really, really well. It's great.
I got to give the kid hats off, though. Actually, I got to give them all. I mean, intern had a rough outing, but didn't frustrate.
That's
Troy
racing.
got second overall, and Shelby had, the balls to go out and run a GP 1800. She was going to be in the women's class. They bunched her in with the pros, and she didn't get scared, didn't back off, was on a completely stock GP 1800 just to get her feet wet, and she had a time of her life.
She did really well. She did really well. And she's learning,
Well, let me tell you, that's not a boat
No,
for just
no,
anybody.
no.
No, and she's getting better on it. I saw her, ironically, at the. I mean, you can tell I don't miss getting. I get ice cream regularly along with other products that I ingest, but I saw her at the ice cream stand last
Sausage.
night, and I was telling her that, just keep riding, just keep, she's just seeing great progression since Naples last year until Wisconsin this year, and that's from someone who's not, you're looking at it from a different perspective, not the rider on the boat, and she can feel that progression. She said to me last night, she knows that she's been able to get more comfortable and the more time she spends. So it's like
Well, it was Moto 1 and Moto 2. She hole shotted everybody in IROC. And actually, John Block came up to her. And I got to thank the Bohats because they allowed us to borrow a piece that I completely blew it, left it here, and needed to have it in the boat.
What was it?
The tray in the back.
I
but-
asked you if you had everything.
I know, but I blew it. But the Bohats let me borrow it, so we were actually on our way back to drop that off. And John Block comes up to her, it literally stops us, and he was like, "I don't know what the hell you just did." He goes, "But I swear I was sitting on the line just spinning my prop and watching you drive away."
we got to get that kid a new crew chief because you don't put enough fuel in the boat. You don't bring the friggin' That's the first thing she said to me at the ice cream shop. Well, I told my dad that it only had a quarter tank of fuel, and I'm like, well, that stuff.
I had a lot of stuff
No,
going
He
on.
it's
didn't,
this
he
last
didn't
2
have
weeks.
the numbers on the GP.
That wasn't my fault. It was not my fault. No.
Hey, and we gotta in the interest of time, we got to bring in. We got a great guest because and
better
we
bring
love
him
talk.
on.
We love talking to Ryan. We could have
think
had
he's
him in on
sleeping.
this conversation because he's got kids. He can. Ryan's kids have. We're just talking before the show started. Progressed from riding stand-up personal watercraft at age 5 to now at age 10 on a triple conversion Kawasaki SXR.
Oh, you'd be busting my balls on this too.
Totally. And Ryan's with Michigan Wave Makers. Their annual event, Brave the Wave, is coming up next weekend, Lake Orion, Michigan. And I'm probably going to catch a little bit of a hard time from him for my Midwest reference about Wisconsin. But we got to bring him live because one of the nicest guys, seriously, in the entire community. See Ryan every year, down there in Naples, working like a dog at the line, helping out pro watercraft.
You know what I'm going to do this year for him in Naples?
What?
I'm bringing him a box of Oreos.
Hot dogs?
No,
Oh.
I'm giving him a whole stack of Oreos.
Why
Just
Oreos?
give him the
Wait,
whole
why
package.
are we giving our Oreos away?
Don't you worry. He knows what I'm talking about.
It's
Well,
the
you-
cream filled.
That's it.
Is that some type of reference that you want to be the sweet stuff in the middle or
No,
something?
no. He knows. He knows.
Uh,
So
hey,
we got him in. Hey, you're live.
What's
Ryan.
up, guys?
How are you?
Good, good. That was funny about the Oreos because the whole time I was in Naples, Jody's just sitting on the beach eating Oreos. I'd walk by and I'd be like, "You're grossing me out, man. It's 90 degrees out here, 100 degrees, and you're just sitting there eating Oreos and sand."
it's a Northeast
well-
thing, Ryan.
Oh, that's why Shelby forgot all of her parts and the fuel.
I was
Exactly.
too busy eating
Oreos.
Oreos. I'm sorry.
It was gross. He was sweating. He was licking it.
Oh, we've seen it before.
Yeah, it's not pretty. He's
Yeah,
always
sure.
licking his fingers. He's got a little
Usu-
bit of
vodka.
drool on his chin. Yeah,
You notice they're both still around too, Ryan.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey.
But I'll recap with you guys on your earlier conversation with Mav. Like the first couple years on Naples circuit, I just didn't think the guy liked me, but he was so like into his job. Like that
my
guy
God,
works
yeah.
so hard. He doesn't even have time to like BS with anyone. He's just setting up cameras. He's doing his thing. Like he literally runs that whole thing like a madman.
Yeah, he does.
And you're exactly right, Ryan. I mean, I think if people saw what Maverick does, they would appreciate it so much more.
You know what we should do?
What?
I should run around, chase him down with a GoPro, and just follow him
film
around.
Maverick.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I
Doing
mean, I
a
still
day in
don't
the
think he
life of
likes me,
Maverick.
but he works hard.
oh no, Ryan, I don't think there's
I don't think
anybody
that-
within the community that dislikes you. I just don't believe it. And if there is, there's something wrong with that person. But in terms of Mav, you're right. He works so hard, and I think that it's you know, that's part of the progression. You know, always on social media, people are critical of the live stream for pro
I'm the
watercross.
first one to say something.
And
He trained me, so I can say it.
no, I'm not talking you, but I'm talking other. You know, it's funny how people want to be critical but don't want to. It's like, why don't you get off your ass and behind your keyboard and go down there and help the guy? Then you'd appreciate how much work it is, like Ryan said, just to produce the product. It's unbelievable.
Like he's there early, and he's the last one to leave, and to make sure all the equipment's safe, and he's on it. And it's like people just, you know, as a promoter, I get it because we do get attacked all the time, but the guy works his ass off. He really does. I give him 100% credit. I'd love to have Mav on my team. I'll tell you that much.
100%. Yeah. And hey, so that's a great segue to Brave the Wave, but you got to show us that ski behind you one more time, because you know, like you, we love the retro stuff.
Yeah. So slide over.
It's just.
My laser jet. This is my baby.
That's just such an amazing. What year is that, Ryan?
That's a 92.
And that's.
I got a couple of them, so I think this one's a 92.
And correct me.
But as a kid, I always wanted one, and they'd always be in the magazine with the good-looking 80s girl, and I always wanted one. So when I got old, I was like, I'm still gonna live like a kid. I'll buy a couple.
So did you get the girl with it with the high Brazilian bikini?
I'm working on that. You know, I'm working on that.
Listen, be careful, because you have a very nice, very beautiful girl in your life now. So don't, you know.
Yeah. I just buy her the outfit. She decides whether or not it's going back to Amazon or not. But I'm like, this was the style during Weird Science era on TNT.
Nobody needs to see the pictures but you, right?
Yeah. Hey, but you know what? She's killing it on the jet ski, and so I can't complain. She's out there wrenching with me. She's riding with me. I can't complain.
You know, Ryan, awesome. I saw she put up the funniest post on social media like a week ago or something. She puts up just 4 bolts, my ass. And it's a picture of Ryan underneath the hood of his SXR. And she's like, she's helping her. She's holding parts. And it was like, you know, sarcasm. Like, he said, oh, don't worry. It's only 4 bolts. We'll be done in like 5 minutes. And like,
3 hours later.
Yeah, SpongeBob. 3 hours later.
3 weeks later. But I got to use her because she's got these skinny fingers that can reach in between the exhaust and the manifold, and I'm like, come here.
It's so funny because there's always swimmers in any boat, right? You know, they're bolt holes.
That's why we got Kevin. He's got the little fingers.
Oh, God.
You know what? I bought a giant magnet that I just stick in there, and you wouldn't believe all the 10 millimeters that just will keep rolling to it.
It's unbelievable. Every single ski, there's just swimmers everywhere.
I mean, all day today, all I did was wrench and test. Because, like, you know, in the Super Bowl, like, the first 2 weeks, the people go down there and they, like, walk around. They just take in the city.
Yeah.
Like, the first 2 weeks of 2 weeks before Brave, like, Justin Sylvain today and, like, the freestylers, the racers, who's got this, who's got that. Like, everyone's prepping. Everyone's talking. So, like, I'm terrible at my job right now because it's just all about Brave.
Well, you know, it's funny. We were talking with Brian Sizemore this past weekend. You know, he was up at that Buffalo event. And, you know, I know Torrance headed down, you know, to Brave the Wave. And, you know, that's one of the things we wanted to talk to you about is, you know, the growth of Brave the Wave since you guys have started it. You know, it seems like organically, Ryan, it's just grown naturally because of the quality of the event.
It's fun. And guys like Brian, I mean, you know, that's how I met Brian. He was actually he was being a holder for Evan Kresge, who was #1 in the world in freestyle at the time. And he was racing his 701 Superjet, and Brian was actually his holder. And I'm just sitting there talking to this guy, and I didn't know he was from Torrance. I was just in the water next to some dude. And then we just hit it off from there. And ever since then, you know, whenever we travel, we try and stay at the same place. His wife's amazing. And just, you know, like, he's one of those guys who's all about, let's just keep this going. Let's keep it going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, we take our hits, like you said online, like we take our hits. I mean, the other day someone was calling me a dirtbag, and I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's social media for you. You know, I mean, I think it's just it's really become
the keyboard tough guys.
Well, and
that's all it is.
It's become
those are my favorite. Nobody ever wants to meet up in the States.
But it's become so negative that it's just, people utilize it to pig pile on. And I mean, what you guys do, we always say it at Brave the Wave, what you guys have been able to do, and not just, for the sport, but for your local community, the involvement that you guys have from the township, the municipality, the relationships that you guys have with law enforcement. You guys are Michigan Wavemakers, from our perspective, Ryan, are amongst the best ambassadors for the PWC community here in North America. I don't think anybody does a better job of really, applying. Hey, thanks for the clap.
How about that?
But no, applying all of all of the important components that are important to, the personal watercraft community. Engaging locals from your municipality and business owners and law enforcement and safety officials. You guys do a great job with that.
I mean, it really does take the whole community to set this off. As far as the police officer that I'm working with now, we're using one of his car loader trailers so we can get all the buoys and all the blocks there. So the police officers are donating their own personal goods. We have DuttonFarms.org. It's a charity with Down syndrome kids where they have a farm and they're teaching these kids these amazing skills to be able to go out and do jobs in a regular day. We bring a variety of different charities involved into it, and we try and get the whole community to come in. And the youth sports is the biggest thing. My goal is to get as many first-time racers and freestylers sponsorships that day at Brave. And like Tanner DeLong, no one heard of him. He was number 4 in the world last year. He started at Brave.
Yeah.
You got like Jack Ziegler. Like this kid was 2 or 3 in the world last year, just in Lake Havasu. Before that, he came to Brave. Like he was always talented, but no one really knew his name. And like I will put them on the map because my goal is this: if everyone grows, we all grow.
Yeah. And the way you invest in the development of young riders, I don't think there's anybody, aside from Junior Stars does a nice job, with Haggis and Pro Watercraft and all of them annually. They do a really good job. But I think
And Underhill.
Yeah, I think there's you guys do an amazing job of investing in, young developing riders in your area. And there's something about the water out there in the Midwest, because you guys produce some of the best riders in the personal watercraft community, hands down, Ryan.
Yeah, next to Florida.
Well, we're all jerks to each other. So it pushes each other. And if you look at Lake Orion where we have Brave, I can name 3 or 4 world champions that are right there. And then we have 6 or 7 world champions coming out of retirement that are showing up at Brave. And the Underhills, they're coming too.
Yeah, it's just an amazing, just breeding ground for great riders. And so you've expanded on classes, right? You're opening it up this year to some more sit-down classes?
Yeah. So and it's funny because we're stacked, like 701 stacked, 1500s are stacked, 800s, 800 stock stacked. Our 2-stroke, 4-stroke sit downs are the only ones that we're lacking. We need people to sign up more for that. It's just what it is because we just started it, but we'll get it out there. We give out big cash money, so I don't know why they're not showing up. But we got about 60, 70 signed up before freestyle, like those numbers.
Yeah.
So like as of right now today, like we got a full-blown awesome event, and I got probably 30 new riders that had never ridden before, which is what I want.
Yep, exactly. That's fantastic.
And like I hit them up on social media.
The idea
I find
is to
people
keep those 30 riders.
Yes. And
That's
sell them shirts.
That's one of the things that it's the hardest
Sell
part.
shirts.
That's one of the hardest part. Keeping.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think
Yeah,
getting 30.
Even if you keep 15.
Yeah.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah.
We
Awesome.
got them all coming back from last year. Every single guy. And then, the difference like with the promoters, and not saying anything bad about other promoters. I'm just talking about myself. I call them, like I don't text them. I want to talk to you. Like I call these guys and like, hey, what brought you there? What's going to bring you back? You know, and I call these guys out, and I don't want to text you. I want you to tell me your honest opinion. And the same with race teams. You know, I call them up. I'm like, I don't see you on the list. What's the deal?
Right.
And it's just like, if they got a solid answer, great. But I think it's more just getting involved and like getting these numbers. And with Facebook Messenger, you can actually call people. So I got all their numbers.
And I
like it or not, they're your mind.
Yeah, no, but I think that's you know, you're right, Ryan. I mean, I think that's almost a lost type of
Connection.
form of communication.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people just automatically text or message someone.
Yeah,
And
people are shocked when I do that. Even my customers. I don't want to text. I want to hear your voice, honesty. Let's make a deal.
yeah,
You know?
because
Yep.
it really does make a difference because it's so easy to misinterpret tone and intent through message. So
I agree.
yeah. So
Well, for instance, today I had a guy say he wasn't coming because 15 years ago, another racer accused him of stealing a prototype that he was working on. And I was like, 15 years ago, you guys are still holding this grudge. I was like, we're going to do a 3-way. And you guys are, and you know, at the end of the day, they're both coming to Brave. They buried the nail. It's like, guys, 15 years ago, you guys are holding on to something. Let's pull this together. This is for a charity. This is for Down syndrome kids. This is for growing of the sport. And you guys are going to talk about a mishap from 15 years ago? Come
Well,
on.
you know,
Get over it.
You know what? I know that. Get it. That harsh. Get over it. Grow up. But the way he did it, I respect that.
exactly.
I don't give a shit what anybody says.
Yep.
That's a man. When
100%.
you're calling them out, put each other on the phone. Let's talk about
Yeah,
this.
hash it out.
Yeah.
That's
And-
right.
and-
I like that.
Two of the guys and their grandparents now. Shit.
Oh, Christ.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Some people just are, hold grudges. They don't have that ability, Ryan, to just like like you did and Mel said, just get on the phone and work shit out. It's not the end of the world. I mean, it's a jet ski event, and we really love what you're doing. Doing something for people with Down syndrome. That's a great charity. How did they get involved?
So they're in our community, and I've been following them online because I just noticed like what a cool idea. They have this farm, and the girl who runs it and her family and her husband and their kids. I mean, just an amazing family. And what they were doing was her sister has Down syndrome. They're hosting so many fellow Down syndrome kids were coming over the house just to hang out that they raised a bunch of funds in the community, bought a farm, and they developed skills for these kids on the farm for everyday life. And anyone in the community can show up at the farm, volunteer, help out, hang with these kids, and they go on job interviews with them. So if they find out they're going to do a certain job, let's say at a grocery store, they take them back and they're going to teach them all those skills. And then they're going to bring them back to the job. So these kids have a chance, and they have that fulfilled life. I mean, they're honestly the sweetest children and adult you'll ever see.
Yeah, and I think with them having a purpose, I mean, it's funny because there was just a piece on 60 Minutes last week how employers are really now focusing on hiring people with autism, with a disability because of there's certain traits that they have within the workplace. And I think that's what...
Well, a couple of them, they show up to work and they don't whine. Very
No, they truly
I'm serious.
want. I know.
Yeah,
There was actually a program that I got involved with, and they wanted to get involved with me, obviously because of our daughter.
Yeah.
But they couldn't wait to come to work. They loved it, and there was a lot of autistic. There was a lot of Down, and people with Down just have a unique, happy personality.
Yeah.
And you just want to talk to them.
Yeah.
They melt your heart. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
If you have any kind of, personality, they will latch onto you and talk your ear off, and you'll love it.
It's a great,
Yeah,
great...
it's true.
Yeah, it's a great charity.
And they're going to be
connected.
at Brave the Waves. I got them. They're going to be helping out at Brave the Waves on site
Awesome.
the whole day.
That's
See what
so
I'm saying?
cool.
See what I'm saying? He needs his own show. Ryan does. Just us.
his own,
No.
yeah, yeah.
People yell at you guys all the
Oh
time.
my God.
Dude, it's
I'm so offended by this guy calling me a dirtbag the other day. I was like, who says dirtbag anymore?
I know, really. That guy's from the '80s, Ryan. You're talking earlier about
Right.
you know about
15-year
weird science
grudge.
and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
You just let those comments just kind of roll off the cuff.
But
You don't let it bother you anymore.
But I think you're right. A Michigan
Yeah.
Wavemakers show would be awesome. I know I'd watch it. I mean, but
I'm just saying.
yeah, I mean, and honestly, Ryan, what you guys are doing with that farm, and you know, again, I don't think there's anybody, you know, within the personal watercraft community that really invests back into their region, their local marketplace, more than the Michigan Wavemakers. And you know, we want to continue to see you guys grow and prosper because you know, there's so much passion and so much commitment in what you guys do, and it's such a good thing. You know, so many facets of what you guys do, from reinvesting back into the community and developing young riders and focusing on safety and, you know, breaking kids in the right way, you know, teaching kids, you know, how to be, you know, good riders and good ambassadors for the sport and good athletes.
I love the idea that he's got the people with Down working the event.
It's amazing.
That's just
It's incredible.
I love that.
It's great, but it's
I mean,
all,
we're
not
we're
only that,
all
but
in.
It gets them involved in the community. It gets them involved in something else, and people who are actually participating in the event are now involved, whether they like it or not,
Firsthand.
whether they're
Firsthand.
comfortable with it or not. They're involved with someone with special needs.
Yeah,
And
you're
that's
exposed to 'em.
You just said it right there. A lot of people aren't comfortable.
No.
They don't know.
Nope.
They just don't.
And on top of that, I'll give a shout out to Vintage Jet Ski Cam in Australia.
yeah.
So during Brave, he's going to be posting all the fundraisers for Dutton Farms while Brave's going on in Australia as well. So we're trying to really build this exposure from not only America to Australia to England. So we're trying to go international with the fundraising for the event. Again, Terry and I have never made $1 off of this. This is like, we're 12 months a year into this. We go all year round. We're going to support the charities that we choose all the way around. And so if we can get Australia and England involved in and get their people donating, it's just going to bring more power and more name to the farm and really help out.
And you know, that's again, like Jody said, you know, having your local community exposed to people with Down syndrome really creates a better degree of understanding and being able to relate to people like that, and just understand they're normal people. They're just
And it won't. There a lot of it. I swear, and it drives me nuts. Just in my personal opinion, but when people see someone with special needs, they're scared. They either stare,
well, they feel
or
awkward, Jody.
they're and it's awkward.
Yeah.
And
I mean, look how many places that we've gone, races and tractor pulls, and you know
Anywhere.
what the best part T likes? The noise, that grumble.
Yeah.
That girl freaks out when she hears that.
but there's a select few people that actually come up and say something, or say hello, or do something.
Well, you know,
Interact.
a lot,
This-
of, a lot of
what-
it is how you're raised. It goes back to a lot of things.
True.
It goes
But
to that.
I-
Just saying.
And in my, what Ryan's doing in doing this is amazing.
Oh yeah.
But even before it hit me, I was always nervous. Was my biggest fear
Yeah.
was having a disabled or a special needs child. And next thing you know,
But you're
there
right.
you go.
There you go.
But what he's doing, absolutely.
Next level.
Yeah,
Yes.
it really does. It helps. It helps exposing people to people with disabilities, because you realize that they just need the same degree of interaction as any other human
They
being.
want friends too.
Yeah, it's the same degree of interaction.
Yeah.
What you guys do,
They want your friendship more pure than you'll ever meet another
yeah,
person
exactly.
that is
You're right.
not
And it
disabled.
means more to them
You bet your ass it
Than a-
does.
than
than you could
stranger.
ever imagine.
Hey Ryan, you know,
Sorry, we kind of digressed
No,
there.
but
yeah.
as we're having
No,
this
I'm with you, man. I'm with you 100%.
no, look, we
That's
love
why I'm
what-
doing it.
clearly, and
Yeah.
we love what you're doing so much. Watercraft Network wants to make a monetary donation to that farm. So if you can message, us, message Jody or Watercraft Network, we have a very shoestring budget. We bought some tickets for that event in Buffalo.
Hey, every dollar, even a dollar, every dollar. Like
No.
Terry and I go to their events, like when they do events, other than, obviously Brave the Wave, but they'll all be on site at Brave the Wave. And we go to their other events and we support them and we bring people. So whether it's $5,
That's awesome.
$100, we don't care. It's
Yeah,
it's just bringing every dollar counts.
We want to make a monetary donation to that farm because we really believe in what you guys are doing and how you're doing it. And I think that, like Jody said, that's a really impressive part. I mean, everything about Brave the Wave is impressive, but that's one of the most forward-thinking ideas that I've heard in the personal watercraft community a long time, where you're really embracing people with disabilities and involving them in the event. I don't think anyone else that I know of has done something like that, and it's such a truly genuine, just amazing thing to do, and we have to make a donation. We really want to make it directly to the farm if possible, or we'll do it through Brave, however you would like it done.
No, through the farm. It's just DuttonFarms.org.
DUNN?
DUTTON.
Yeah,
Oh,
just send
Dutton.
it to me later.
He's saying
All right.
Dutton Farms.
Post it.
Yeah, well, exactly. We want everybody else to know. It's Dutton, DUTTON farms.org.
Yep. And it's a 503 charity, the whole gig, and anything helps.
Yeah, we'll make a donation from us on behalf of Brave the Wave and Michigan Wave Makers, because, it just sounds not just what you guys are doing, but for that family, with someone with Down syndrome in their family, to invest back into that, community of people with disabilities and create something like that. Absolutely amazing, because I think it's such a nice thing that they're training these people to be able to be productive members of society, because most of them want a purpose. Most of them want something to do and feel like they're a part of something. So
But this is how it works. So for instance, like whatever your guys' donation is, you don't have to say, but you guys have done so much for Brave that I'm going to match it. So that's how it works. It's just about you give, I give, and we all work together to achieve a goal.
Nice.
Unbelievable.
I got to. I've liked Ryan from the beginning.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. No, it's,
Now he's more stand up than I've ever could have imagined.
yeah, we've often said, whenever we talk about the community, that, we hold Michigan Wave Makers to a very, high, we've
Higher standard.
Yeah, we think of them as one of the, really professional and personable and approachable entities within the community. And we've always said, Ryan, one of the, talking privately off air, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. But you're right. I mean, how creative is it to give back in that capacity? It's unbelievable. And I mean, like we said, Ryan, you don't have to match it. We're gonna donate $100 from Watercraft Network. It's just what we're able to do and what we want to do. And
That's awesome. So we're at 200 just in this conversation, and that's well worth it because it goes a long way.
well, we can't thank you enough for what you've done, not just for your local community, but how how passionate you are and what a great supporter and face of the personal watercraft community you are.
Really, what it is, honestly, is there's no lack of. Like, if he can do it, anybody can do this type of stuff. Whether you get together with 10 to 15 friends on jet skis for the weekend, and you do a little raffle or wreck riding type thing together, you could do this in your area.
100%.
Put a raffle together. If you make $100, $130, split it, and you take 60, 65, and bring it somewhere and donate it. Who cares? Do it.
No, you're
Yeah.
right.
It's there.
You don't have to do it to
You
the
just
degree.
got to take a beating online from people. And other than that, you're good.
Hey, right.
Look, for a lot of years, and we still do, we get told that we steal money We all have plenty of money. We don't need it. We've donated thousands to Center of Disability. Been on their what the heck was that? We're called telethon. Gave him a big check. You know what?
We've done it for John Dady's family.
John Dady, yep.
We've done it. Who was the
I
little
follow you
guy
guys.
who-
Yep.
Mason Waddle.
Mason Waddle, that was
Zach
it.
Waddle used to ride for Blosian. I mean, never mind all of the local, I mean, I think
Well,
a
there
lot
was
of people.
up at the campground. Remember the young lady that got into the wreck?
Morgan Baker.
She got paralyzed, and we went right to the family and handed them an envelope.
But you know
Just
what?
because that's where we hold our event, we like to help people out. We don't.
A lot of people don't realize too how much we divert to local entities with law enforcement and first responders.
Sure.
But that, I mean, I think quite honestly, it doesn't matter. And Ryan, like you're saying, you get somebody calling you a dirtbag and getting hammered online. Brian Sizemore said it best to me. Brian from Torrent Pumps, bring it back to him. We're working on putting together a boat for them to raffle in Daytona. And I said to him, jokingly, I said, hey, Ryan, Brian, you want to align with the Watercraft Network guys? That may not look good for Torrent Pumps. And he goes, listen, man, every year somebody accuses me of stealing at Daytona. And I'm like, he's like, that's just how it is. It's how it goes. And, you just have to block that stuff out. And I think he's right. And especially when it comes to you guys, Brave the Wave and Michigan Wave Makers, you guys just do such an amazing job. And bless you, intern. Anybody who has anything negative to say is just, it's someone who's incapable of doing something equivalent themselves.
Well, you hit it on the spot with Brian, though. He's always, every time he talks to me on the phone, he always starts off, listen, man.
Yeah, just stay positive.
Yeah, pretty much.
So true. Well, listen,
he went through his stuff too. So he's like us. Like, he just appreciates it every day. Appreciate it every day.
He's been through the ringer.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of knowledge.
And it's a big hobby. And it's like, if you can bring something healthy and supportive to your hobby, I mean, that's all you can ask for, because you're going to do your hobby. If you have passion for it, you're going to do it. So it better be something with strings attached that are good.
Yep. Well, you know what, Ryan, honestly, we have a lot of respect for Brian Sizemore because he invests so much back into Roswell Park Cancer Research Institute, which, has a real personal, relationship with him. And what you guys do with this Dutton Farms, I mean.
Oh, Scott and Rodney, $100.
Oh, see that?
Wow.
The Carolina. I'll tell you
Thank
what.
you, Scott.
Look, I usually don't like to butt in with the comments because it gets out of whack.
Those
Squirrel. So
he's the guy who called me a dirtbag.
Oh, that's typical.
You know those guys, Scott and Rodney from Carolina.
Yeah, they're
Watercraft.
great guys.
Oh, they're unbelievable, Ryan.
They're on my bucket list to make it to their event. No question.
Oh, you got
to go to that one.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yep.
the Belly Buster is one of those events that's just, I mean, they're like you guys. What we love about Scott and Rodney is they'll hang with anyone, Ryan, in terms of busting chops. I mean, these guys are professionals. You got to bring your A game when you're with them. But secondly, they don't host an event for anything other than the fact that they love the personal watercraft community and they want to reinvest back into it. It's the only reason. There's no ulterior motive with those guys, and they're just such pure, like, quality people to their core, like you guys.
They're pure quality.
I got to know them at Naples last year in the tower. They're great guys.
Great guys. Great guys.
We were all watching Jody eat and grossing us out together.
Oh, man.
But hold on. In my defense, it was Grand National and Krista that were like forcing food down my throat because I was just focused and I wasn't paying attention to drinking enough water, eating. It was I was on a mission.
And look, in Ryan, in Jody's defense, when you're around two skinny people like Krista and Grand National, I mean, you look like
the cream.
Yeah, you look like a slob. You do. I mean, you can't. You know what I mean? If I was sitting next to him, I'd have got up and moved. I'd have gone to a different tent.
Dude, there was no one sitting there. It was just him, a paper plate, and Oreos.
Well, hey man, listen. We hope everything goes well at Brave. Again this year, and its continued growth. And
we don't hope it will.
We know it will, but we just hope you have good weather, good turnout,
Yeah.
you know, positive vibes, great racing, great riding, great freestyle. You know, we know it'll go well, but we just hope that, you know, all of your hard work continues to pay off.
And we will
Yeah,
see you
it
in
will.
Naples.
You know, at the end of the day, we're raising money for a great charity, jet skiing secondary. We're putting exposure from Australia to England, and honestly, jet skiing is great. I do it every day of my life. So, at the end of the day, if I can raise money for this charity, that's my winning day.
It's awesome.
And Terry Nalmouth, who feels the same way. I mean, that's why we're going to the other events for them. Jet skiing is a hobby for us. We put on a great event. We bring some serious all-stars in. But at the end of the day, it August 8th shows up, and you want to say, I did something good for the world.
Yeah, and that's a great, you know, just great approach. And you said DUTTON Farms, DuttonFarms.org.
We will make
Yep.
sure there's a link.
You're going to put
on
one up? Okay,
Watercraft
cool.
Network.
Yeah, Mel's going to put one up and share it. It's just an amazing thing you guys are doing again. So Brave the Wave next weekend, Lake Orion, Michigan.
Yeah, August
You know,
7th.
Yeah, you can obviously contact Michigan Wave Makers if you haven't yet.
August 1st, last day for registration. Terry's very firm on that because a bunch of my boys will call me up like August 4th and be like, hey, can I slide in? And Terry's like, no.
Oh,
So August 1st.
No.
there you go. Deadline is a
Hey,
deadline.
you know what? Sometimes you just got to be that way.
You know,
It's
it's
not
not
it
Even
is.
for your
Oh, if it was
buddies.
up to me, it'd be terrible. She runs it so well. Like, I give Terry all the credit in the world. If it was up to me, guys, be showing up August 8th.
I know what you.
And my
well,
friends aren't that bright.
Hey, don't worry about it. We'll score you separately.
Yeah, and right, that's a guy thing. You're right. Guys would show up the day of and we'd be like, "Listen, dude, we'll settle up later. Don't worry about it." You know,
Yeah.
it's so true, so true. Well, hey,
Well, thanks, guys.
No, thank you for taking the time with us tonight. You know, we look forward to seeing some footage of your son running. You know, his first event. We're going to look forward to that, and we'll look forward to seeing you in Naples.
All right. I look forward to seeing one of you.
Thanks again, Brian.
I'm going to bring you two
All right,
packs
guys.
of Oreos.
Thanks,
All right, buddy.
guys.
Thanks, Ryan.
Take care.
Thanks, Ryan.
Right on.
Again, I mean, what more can you say? I mean, you know, the conversation speaks for itself. You know, there's certain groups and entities within this community that are just selfless. You know, Carolina Watercraft Club, the Personal Watercraft Safety Initiative, you know, Michigan.
Well, ultimately, like he said, jet skis is secondary, giving back is one.
Yeah.
So if you can combine the two, life is good.
It's a good day.
Dude, and that's so forward thinking of them, you know, I mean, to involve, you know, people with developmental disabilities. To me, that is such a like a
It's-
no-brainer. No one's thought of it yet. And
It's
it
an
takes
opportunity.
I know when I did it and they worked for me, I enjoyed going into the office
why wouldn't you?
because they were happy to see you.
Oh, yeah.
I want to do a good job. I mean, it just
Well,
it changed your attitude walking in.
We brought that lady, Ann, from Center.
And Costigan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We brought her to the event, and she loved it. She thought it was awesome. She was right there the whole time.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, T was there. She's there all the time. But
I think what these guys are doing with involving the people with Down syndrome in the event and giving them purpose and giving
I
them
just can't wait to see
involvement.
the smiles.
That's exactly it.
Natural smiles.
and
And they're going to make a bunch of new friends.
yeah,
Because once those kids
Yeah,
get a hold of you,
they're locked on.
you're done.
Yep. I still have. There's the kid. Well, he's a guy now, but older. From when he was a kid, like when we were in school, I stuck up for him because he'd get bullied. I don't know what was wrong, but you just knew that it was wrong. What people are doing, and he still remembers me.
of course he
30
does.
some years later.
Of course he does. Yeah.
You know, I message me on Facebook all the time. What's up, buddy? What's
Yeah.
up, buddy? You know, what are you doing? You know, I'll send them pictures of our projects or whatever we're working
Yeah.
on for construction. It's just the connection you never lose.
Yeah, yeah, and it's
know?
great that these people, that these kids from this farm, DuttonFarm.org, DUTTON farm.org, it's great that they'll be able to make that connection at something that is so, you know, just you know, it's not like it's you know,
It's out of their ordinary routine.
right, but it's not like it's like a farmer's market that occurs every weekend. You know, this is such a rare type of an event. It's so unique and exclusive, and for them to be able to be involved with it and be able to meet people like that, I just think it's a great, great thing. And leave it up to Michigan wave makers to really,
To
you know,
figure that one out.
raise the bar again. You know,
Yeah,
they just-
thanks. Thanks.
Yeah.
Not in a bad
yeah,
way.
Thanks, Ryan.
but
Thanks, Terry.
Thanks.
You know,
Thanks,
you know, I mean,
dirtbag.
make our job just a little bit harder. No, what they do is absolutely amazing, and hats off to them. They're a great
Hell
group.
yeah.
Again, if you haven't found them, find them on social media. Michigan Wave Makers, their event Brave the Wave next weekend in Lake Orion, Michigan.
Well, let's put a wrap on this one tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a couple things before we go. Shout out going out to Liquid Molly. A lot of love to the Liquid Molly. Great, the best lubricants. You know, friends don't let friends run any other type of oil than Liquid Molly products.
Is there really other oils?
I don't think there is, quite
Oh, okay.
honestly.
Fragrances.
I don't think there is. You know, yeah. The Watercraft Superstore, SBT, Black Tip, anything you need. You know, you can't get chips for an automobile, but if you need parts for your Watercraft Superstore, your one-stop shop.
Oh, I'll be calling tomorrow.
Bomber Floating Eyewear, the best eye protection on the market for personal watercraft operators. Bombers, they float. Nothing else needs to be said.
No.
The-
No.
WSM Performance Products, we got 3 boats that we're in the process of putting together, 2 complete WSM piston kits. You'll see that we don't just talk about them, we use them. You'll see them when the motors go together. They're right out in the Brap Cave now. WSM for all your aftermarket parts.
PWC doctor,
Chris, great guy. You know, the vacates. You can't,
always giving back.
yeah,
I
yeah.
actually missed him this weekend.
Great guy. Always, like Mel said, always reinvesting back in the community. PWC doctor, the best vacate, the original.
Once again, I don't want to say I was complaining earlier, but I want to thank Mav for all he does so we can watch it at home.
Great job, Mav. You know, I mean, like we said, he's a one-man band, and if not for him, you wouldn't see anything. I saw some great footage of Shelby this weekend. Saw some great footage of Troy. I saw the intern over there swimming or getting towed in.
Yeah, he did a lot of water sampling.
Yeah, I think what it is, it's the Olympics are this time of year, and he's a big Michael Phelps fan. So he was doing his Phelps impersonation. He didn't realize it was a jet ski race. He thought it was a swimming competition.
Well, he did
So,
good around the buoy
He
swimming.
did, but intern's getting
No,
better.
if you noticed, every time he went swimming, it was over by the mature ladies that were talking to us on Saturday.
Oh, now I get it.
So
now I
it was
get it.
like, help.
So wait, he won't take his helmet off around 20-year-old girls, but if they're 50,
40,
50,
45-ish.
So intern's
He was
a
like,
cougar hunter.
Wow,
What we're saying-
you're pretty hot.
What we're saying is,
He's looking for new parts.
That's it? Are you kidding me?
What kind of credit card you got?
you know what intern says?
Black.
Intern says he's never fought a lion with his bare hands, but he's choked a couple cougars in his day. Hey, before we go, I got to say it's my mom's birthday today, so I
Hey,
can't
oh,
forget to wish
birthday,
my
Mom.
Cougar.
Happy
I mean,
birthday.
And speaking of cougars,
Oh,
what was
no,
that?
come on now, come on. That was a bad segue on my behalf. Wow.
It sure was. You do not follow up
Yeah,
with
you
that.
definitely
Man.
stepped right into that one.
Totally opened the door on that one.
Sorry, Mom.
Sorry.
All right, we're back next Wednesday, Watercraft Network. Stay safe out there. One last thing before we go. Unfortunate incident yesterday in Millbury, Connecticut. Operator killed in a vessel-to-vessel personal watercraft collision. You know, we
Never
say it
good.
every week. You know, it's an epidemic. You know, stay safe out there. Keep your head on a swivel. You know, remember there's a ton of new operators out there. A lot of fast watercraft. You know, if you haven't had a boater safety course, please take one. But more importantly, be careful on the water. You know, there's incidents that are happening all the time, and there's ramifications for the entire personal watercraft community. So please be safe out there.
Oh, before we get off, I know we've said it like 6 times. PK.
Oh, that's the other one I wanted to mention. Thank you.
PK. I was just cycling through my mind. PK.
PK from Take Point Now. PK Ewing, Take Point
Love that
Now.
guy.
Personal, the personal watercraft entity, really established by former combat veteran to help acclimate other vets back into society. PK's mom is not doing well. Really, his aunt, who's like his second mom, who really raised him, and we're always thinking about PK. And I do a horrible job. I should reach out and call him to see how he's doing. You get just tied up with work
you get
and
tied
life.
up with life, and
It's just such. But our hearts literally go out to him. We hope his mom's doing well. She's in our thoughts and prayers. Lita, right? Isn't it Lita, his second mom?
no, wait, I think so. Well,
I believe
this,
her,
this is Lita, yeah.
I believe her name is
She
Lita.
raised me.
Who's like his second mom, and I know that, he's had it tough through the pandemic, having two women in there in the twilight of their lives. That he's been trying to keep, COVID free and healthy, and he's just such a, here's a guy who, sacrificed his entire body to protect this country so that we have the freedoms to go out and ride our personal watercraft and call people dirtbags and scumbags on social media, like Ryan. Totally, just unwarranted. But, just please keep PK and his family in your thoughts. Just a really truly high quality person, like
Oh
we
my
said.
God,
Who,
dude's a big old teddy bear.
You
You would run if you seen him,
yeah,
because
yeah,
he's
I
scary.
wouldn't want to piss him off.
No,
nicest
he'll choke
guy
you.
you'll ever meet, though.
So.
Just an absolute sweetheart of a guy, and
Yeah,
he's had some tough times. He was in Ramadi, Fallujah, Anbar province, some of the nastiest places on earth, and was really, really injured. And he comes back and he's fighting for his family, and he's
every day.
just an amazing, amazing person. And we're lucky. If not for guys like him, God
We'd have
only.
Joe Biden in office.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Maybe Sharia law by now. Who knows? With
Well, you never know.
those crazy fuckers.
All right.
But
Well, I guess we'll see you next week before we get off track.